Hello from me, Sarah, aka the Business Fixer, in this sort of rather nice warm weather. Unfortunately, stuck in the office at the moment. But today we are talking about how to retain clients and keep them coming back time and time again. But before we do that, I do need to make a little bit of a shout out to the furry one. So you'll often see Fitz appearing on my videos. So Fitz is the Chief Fluffy Officer. He's currently laying on my lap fast asleep, bless him. But it is his 15th birthday today. So we will be celebrating later on. So let's get cracking into how to retain clients and keep them coming back for more. Okay. So one of the important things that I want to stress right from the beginning of this is retaining your existing clients is just one strategy amongst multiple strategies. So this is not instead of getting new clients, this is alongside. And I want to make that crystal clear because it can be so easy to be like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on keeping the existing clients. And often when I'm speaking to new sort of businesses that potentially are new to working with me, they often actually have it where that they've got a fantastic referral system in place, but they don't have a new client strategy, and they're not always the best at actually keeping the existing clients. So please make sure that this is a strategy that is in the whole picture. So one, the key thing is keeping clients is easier and far more profitable than winning new ones. But remember, like I said, you still want to be winning new ones. Yet so many businesses are caught in a cycle of chasing the new work while quietly losing the clients they've worked so hard to win in the first place. So when you're focused on bringing fresh opportunities, it's easy to assume growth will naturally follow, and often it does. But without those retained clients that you want to keep, growth becomes more expensive, can be unpredictable, and much harder than it necessarily needs to be. But like I say, this is a one strategy amongst others. So the true cost of losing clients isn't just the lost avenue. It's the marketing spend, the time wasted on leads that potentially go nowhere. So that means you need to make sure you've got the right client acquisition system in place, and that you could potentially have missed opportunities that could have been secured with much less effort if the right systems are in place. So the good news is that client loyalty isn't built on luck. It's created through deliberate actions and by making small shifts that make it easier for clients to stay, buy again, and recommend you to others. Because ultimately, what you want is your clients to be raving fans, so they're telling everybody how amazing you are, and that's then what helps to build that referral system. Okay, so what we're going to do today is a practical guide to stop losing clients and to build a business that grows reliably from the inside out by retaining the clients and ensuring they keep coming back. Right, so this is something that I talk about frequently. So this is something that you should be doing regardless, and that is clients don't stay loyal to a transaction. They stay loyal to results. So ultimately, you are selling the outcome, not just the service. And this is something that you are selling the outcome, the results, whether you're doing it as a new client or an existing client. So remember this, right? So if you're only offering isolated services, say, for example, if you're a law firm, a contract drafted, a system installed, if you're IT, a recruitment placement field, you're easily replaceable. But instead, if you position your work around what your clients really care about, which is growth, protection, efficiency, security, peace of mind, it shifts the position. So for example, if you were working more on a retainer basis, so recruitment agency, if you know what their aim is in terms of growth, so are they looking to fill positions, more than one position in the next 12 months because they're really wanting to grow? and you've actually got that bigger picture, you could potentially change the way in which recruitment works and do a more of a retainer basis. Or in terms of, again, with the law firm, if you are working with clients and you are fully aware of where they want to actually be, what their issues are, that could be more than once rather than just a contract being drafted, where you are offering the protection and the security and the peace of mind that they need, again, you can put them under a monthly retainer. So it's not then just about one piece of work, okay? So shift your conversations rather than it from being tasks completed to outcomes delivered. Make sure every route you are reviewing, updating, and making sure that every time you're putting a proposal forward, it's tied to the results you help them achieve, not just the isolated piece of work that you're going to do. When clients see your value measured by their success, you move from being a supplier to a partner they don't want to lose. And this is a fundamental foundation for retaining clients for the long term. The next is stay embedded in their business, not just their inbox. So it's not just about the touch points, and I talk about the touch points, but this is about really being something of value to their business, right? So it comes from client loyalty, comes from ongoing involvement, not occasional communication, right? So for example, with my clients, I am involved in their day-to-day of their business. So I will often speak to one of my clients I speak to pretty much daily. But it's that really being in the nuts and bolts of their business, so that you know, it's not about being nosy Parker, it's about actually really understanding the ins and outs of their business, so that again, you are demonstrating how you can help them grow, or whatever the result that they particularly need from you, you can help them achieve, not just by doing one piece of work, right? So if the only time a client hears from you is when you send an invoice, they'll forget why they chose you in the first place. So if you're staying relevant by, like I say, embedding regular proactive check-ins that focus on their changing needs, their future plans, as I say, it's going to make a difference. So you could even if you're scheduling client reviews every 3 to 6 months, it really does depend in the nature of your business, because actually a review more frequently might be required. And you're using these review meetings to explore wiser business priorities, spot the risks early, and offer support before it's even requested. So if you're being, a lot, for example, with lawyers, HR consultants, often when they're contacted is because it's a reaction. Something's happened and it's a reaction. But if you can be proactive rather than always reactive, you are better protecting and serving your clients, okay? So the deeper you're into their day-to-day thinking, the harder it is for competitors to get a look in. And this is a key part of retaining clients. They need to see you as a trusted partner, not just a service provider. Okay, next. You need to make sure you're creating natural next steps for clients to buy again. Clients often leave because nobody's showing them what working together could look like beyond this one project. So from the very start, map out that natural journey a client is going to take with you. And this is where you need to really know what your customer journey is. Show them how your support evolves over time, not as an add-on, but as a logical next step that protects or builds on the results you've already delivered. Talk about future phases early. Keep the door open by making follow-on services part of the conversation, not a separate sale. If clients see that there's a clear path forward, they're much more likely to stay on with you, leading to repeat business and client loyalty. Next, reward those loyal clients. So many times I see it is that there's no reward. Clients should feel the difference when they stay loyal, that they're not just a number on a spreadsheet. So if you recognize long-term clients by offering real valuable benefits, so faster turnaround times, strategic reviews, early access to services you might launch, or tailored support packages, there are a number of different ways in which you can reward loyalty. It's not just about doing those things like those big baskets to say thank you, or an Amazon voucher, or a note to say thank you. These are all nice things, but you can make sure that you're rewarding their loyalty in ways that they're really going to benefit in their business. And make this benefit clear from the outset. Clients need to know that loyalty is rewarded, not assumed. This then reinforces their decision to stay and makes it even harder for those competitors to lure them away with shallow promises. So reward loyalty, you create that stronger bond with your clients, ensuring they remain with you and continue to buy from you time and time again. Next, turn those loyal clients into strategic referrers, or what I call raving fans, right? Clients who trust you are your best source of new business. If you make it easy for them to refer, how can they say no? Don't leave referrals to chance. Build a simple, professional referral system that invites introductions at the right time, usually just after a successful outcome that you've achieved for those clients. Be clear about who you help and what value you bring so that they can then pass that message on to their contacts. Equip clients with the simple ways they can introduce you to their contacts, and always thank them meaningfully when they do. Right? Referrals ultimately strengthen that client loyalty too. When a client refers you, they're reinforcing their commitment to your relationship because your success becomes part of their reputation. So these are really, really key points to be considering here. Okay. So remember, winning clients is just only half the battle. Keeping them, growing them, and encourage them to keep coming back is what builds a business that's stable, profitable, and far less stressful to run. Loyal clients don't just generate repeat revenue, they help fuel your growth. They stay longer, buy more, and refer others to you, reducing your need to constantly chase new leads. But remember, you should still have that new client acquisition system in place. So that's getting those new leads in. If you want growth that's easier, more predictable, and far less reliant on new client acquisition, focus on the relationships you already have. But this is, as I said, it's just one strategy. So if you haven't already built a system to retain clients, now is the time. So take a moment to review those existing client relationships. How can you better engage them? How can you reward their loyalty and position yourself as an essential part of their ongoing success? If you are ready to put a client retention system in place, build that referral system, then let's talk about how we can make it work for you. So the best way to do that, as always, is book your free strategy session so you can get that clarity and those actionable steps to start turning your clients into long-term, loyal, raving fans. Loyalty doesn't happen by accident. It's something you create. Start creating it today. And if this is something you are wanting to do, either click the link and book in straight for a free strategy session, or what you can do is simply comment the word retain and we can have a conversation. So thanks guys for listening. Obviously, if you've got any questions, please do put them in the comments. I would love to be able to help you, and hopefully I will hear from you soon to be able to get that strategy session in the diary and help implement that client retention system today. All right, take care, guys, and enjoy this beautiful weather, and I will see you all very soon.